What's up? September 4th, and it is my last blast to get stands ready. Got a few places where just last minute we've been kind of waiting to see where all the deer are and running behind, honestly. But I'm going to be headed to putting up stands on a bunch of different farms today. I'm going to do my best to give you updates, show you why we do what we do as we go. So I hope you enjoy. It's going to be a quick video, but it should be fun. So when I got over here, my buddy Jared, he said he had a surprise, and boy did he have one. He did a lot of work to cut a road in, a little four-wheeler trail up this spot. It's real hard to get to, it's hard access. But we've been battling some pigs, and they all come from back in here in this swamp. There's a big swamp, runs right up in there. And he said instead of fighting them all the time, we're gonna join them. And so what we're gonna do is we put a feeder up on the edge of this swamp. We're gonna keep it running, and if the hogs choose to use it, we'll come in here and hunt them. We're about to put up a bow stand, and Jared's actually going to get the wrenches now. But I want to point out something about this stand, and it is literally a few of the things that I think are the most important. Number one is setting up a stand where you're able to get in and out. That's the first thing. Gaining access and leaving is one of the most important things in hunting. A lot of people put stands up, I think, and I did when I, for years, put stands up where you're not thinking about getting in and what the disturbance that you're causing getting in, but also getting out. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people will set up a stand and then have the deer in the food plot and then have to get out and scare the deer. Well, when you're hunting these little farms like we hunt, you can't do that. You get a couple of scares, the gig's up, and they know every time you're coming and going because they set themselves up to see that, to know that. So you got to be able to get in and get out quietly. Number two is I always hunt where I can see the most. Here's the deal. A stand where you can't see means that you'll gain no information while you're there. So number two is I always hunt where I can see a lot because I want to see if the deer's over there, or if a deer, I see a travel, or something else traveling, or I hear something. It's all about being in proximity where so like this picture stand, I can see up the valley this way, I can see this ridge in front of me, and I can see down this swamp. If I would have slid over to a tree right over here, guess what? I'm not gonna be able to see up that valley. If I would have set up down in the hole too low, guess what? I'm not gonna be able to see back over the top of this ridge behind me. And so that's part of it, get where you can see. So that's 1 and 2. And when we go to the next spot, I'll share 3 and 4 with you. More often than not, I end up doing something or getting to a spot that I really regret. And this is one of those. This is one of those, if you're gonna be dumb moments, gonna be tough. I feel like my tough factor has dwindled a lot in the last several years. Trying to get to a stand that we had last year that we have not bush hogged a trail to quite some time, as you can see. I might have to check myself for ticks. I always do this with a friend too. Makes the suffering more fun. All right. The reason I want to talk to you as a winner is the third reason, the third thing I think about when hanging a stand, and this stand is a perfect example of this lesson. We hung this stand last year and we never hunted it. And you would think it's in a prime location. As a matter of fact, it's a spot where we saw some deer and had some deer on camera. But guess what? All the intel we gathered in the summer and then everything that we saw in the fall is we never had a buck step out at this camera. Never had them coming to the feed anymore, never had them coming in the field. After summer, these deer just quit using it. And so we never came and sat it. So the thing is you make your best guesses, you know, the best guesses that you possibly can in the summertime. But at the end of the day, if there's not a big deer there, we don't hunt there. But if I know a big deer's at a spot, I'll go hunt it. So this is a lot of work we did last year, putting the stand in, putting this access in, this little trail that's like a little grown up now that I'm walking, but we cut it in last year to get to this stand. And you know what we're gonna do now? We're gonna pull it out because it ain't the right spot. And we're gonna put it somewhere else where we think they might be this fall. And where we actually learned they were last fall. So that's what we do. That's the game, that's number 3. Hunt where they are. Don't waste time in stands that just look great unless you just like hunting pretty spots that have no deer in them. Okay, I'm done. See you. Let's get it. Okay, well, I got that stand down, and it seems that I have gotten hot. At this current rate, I don't know how much sweat this thing come off my body. But I have to pack this thing up, strap it down, put it on my back, and carry it through all of that stuff. I just mapped it, and it's so much farther to go out the other way. So I'm just gonna go through that thicket again and leave this spot. Tired, but I got a couple more stands to do today. Let's do it. All right, all that's done. Now we're en route to another farm. So hopefully get there with ease. I gotta stop and grab a saw real quick in case I gotta trim some limbs. And go do it. So I just finished cleaning up a bunch of stuff, which brings me to number 4. Choose a tree with as much poison oak and ivy as possible, because the deer will never think you're up in it. Just kidding. That's not number 4. Number 4 is transitions. And you hear everybody say this, if you're trying to set up where deer travel and you kind of follow a trail around, or you find some sign, you will notice that it normally follows transition lines, whether that be from corn to a wood edge or hardwoods to a thicket. They just use those little changes in geography a lot. And that's what this is. This right here is what you call a little gate opening. All hardwoods back up here behind us. Just kind of stretches around this little ridge and then comes around to this super thick bedding area. And it backs up to some food too on the other side here. So this is the transition line. We're gonna bush hog this, make this where it's a travel corridor, have these hardwoods where a lot of these deer will bed in the evenings, and then hopefully they filter out, headed to agriculture. And right here on this thicket edge, you're gonna catch deer traveling. All right, so to recap, Number one is getting to and from the stand, how you can cause the least amount of disturbance. Think it through, where the deer going to be, where are they bedding, or are they going to be coming back from food. You know, you can use camera information to kind of know what kind of schedule they're on, but be thinking about how you can get in and out without messing them up, because when you're trying to hunt specific deer or bigger deer, you don't get many chances. Number two, I like to hunt where I can see a lot. That really, I didn't say this before, but that comes from hunting down in the low country a lot, because what I learned is the more I saw, and you know, these long lanes in the pines, the more I saw, the more I understood what they were doing. And so I brought that up here, and even in the mountains you can get where there's a big difference in being able to see 50 yards and being able to see 3 directions 100 yards. You can learn a lot more. Number 3 is hunt where the big deer are. Don't waste time. If you set a stand and you realize that they're not there and they're not using it, you know, for whatever reason, or they moved off of a summer pattern into a fall pattern, move it. If you got a stand that you hunted 1 year and you didn't see many deer out of it, move the thing, man. That's just hunt where they are, you know, and use your cameras. Smart. We use a lot of cameras to figure that out. Number 4 is transitions and poison oak, poison ivy. But number 4 is transitions, and I always look for where things change. And where they change, normally you will notice if you find trails, you find sign, that's where it'll be. And you just find these little pinch points. Find where these areas, whether it's a thicket narrows down, or where a hardwood ridge narrows down up next to a field. Those little areas, those transitions are huge.
Thank you for watching. Looking forward to posting more videos soon.